Today we will look at transparency and accountability for the implementation of the audit report and how the ACC and the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament will work together for give strength to transparency for the audit reports. Well, for that I want for welcome now the studio two former them. First I want to welcome Fitzgerald Kamara, and I've been first Minister of Justice and also ACC Commissioner. But today they are in the capacity as first ACC Commissioner. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, Fambo Leonardo.
And also now the program I want for welcome the first Deputy Chair now the Public Accounts Committee na Parliament, Honorable Kamara. We be done to represent people in Falaba district. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, listeners.
Okay. Today we will look at transparency and accountability in the implementation of the audit reports. As audit reports now documents we then can pull out every year. They show about the way people they use government corporate or public fund we then can receive for implement different programs them. But this PNTM we don't see concern between the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament as to whether they in charge of these documents for implementing, but make we get the people and we be done acting at this capacity how it be done talek inside the past year them. Well, I want to start with Fitzgerald Kamara, first Anti-Corruption Commissioner. Good morning again and welcome.
Morning.
Long term, you know they appear in a public or people need to get from me apart from me tweet them. What's don't they happen?
Very true. I decide for sit down quiet, reflect, and try to understand the country, and try to build my own capacity as well. And we look forward to what the current government they do, and try to understand waiting and the try to get it. And so we the outside, you observe better. I don't the inside and know what the game to be. So I think I don't get an opportunity for observe from outside, and I don't feel say this is the right time to try to speak up and speak out.
You don't serve as ACC Commissioner. You say you don't observe, you don't serve, they don't observe from outside. What's in your experience during the term them we been the serve as ACC Commissioner?
Very interesting. Those were difficult moments in a way, because the way you serve as commissioner, you try to serve government, you try to serve the people. Management of both sides has not been easy. And you look again, no matter what efforts you try to put, you always step on toes, particularly government tools, and the reaction from that not can also be easy. So you have to be somebody with a strong personality and somebody with an understanding of the concept and the role we play. And I think I did that to the best of my ability. We try to see initiate reforms. We're able to modernize and restructure the SEC, and able to get enough power to prosecute. We started serious prosecutions, including real ministers of government. It has never been before, to the extent that we get recognized by the World Bank with an integrity award. And if we can say moving forward to the Attorney General's role, it is there as a principal advisor to government. And as principal advisor to government, one, if you understand your role as well, if you understand waiting at the law, if you know how to manage the law and politics.
Okay. We there this morning for looking into the work of ACC and the PAC. But when you start, you mentioned, say, you mean the outside, don't they observe for long term, and you don't act in this position as Commissioner for the Anti-Corruption Commission. How you go assess ACC the work at this moment?
Well, I can always try to refrain from assessing someone will come after you, because the circumstances could not have been the same. But I go say fairly that they've been trying their best to do what they can. And in some aspects, I have my reservations, and I've communicated that whenever the opportunity day with the current commissioner. And when you look, you get to refrain yourself, because you want to say I was better or I wasn't, or he's doing better and I am not. Those situations are not fair. But I can tell you that I can safely say that they're in the midpoint, where they see reports from the Transparency International and others giving credit to the Anti-Corruption Commission, deservedly so. But at the same time, you question certain aspects of governance where they see nothing happen. And the outcome of the audit of the State House where say money and bad receipts were given. We don't know particularly which are the role of ACC into that, and many other areas where we'd expect the ACC for to take a leading investigative role. We understand they will say it has been advised to administrative purposes. So on those levels, I have my reservations, but I think on the whole, they are coping.
All right, so the issue of the audit report we can come out every year, and one of the key things that we may happen, we make Lara and deputy don't go get for do with the president in office. In this case, what do you think the ACC for don't do in relation to fake receipt where then catch now the president in office?
Well, the anti-corruption is always led by the evidence. Where the evidence become available, it becomes clear that their role is to investigate, and when they get material we reach the proportion for prosecute, they should have prosecuted, and that is the viewpoint that I have on that.
Adia, you say serving government and serving the people as ACC commissioner. What exactly do you mean?
Yes, serving the government in the sense that your mandate was given to you by the government, and serving the people meaning that you're there to safeguard the interests of the people. So that management of the relationship could also be dicey, and you get to be smart enough for no how they draw the line, because government interest the one side, the people's interest the other side, and you get to look at your mandate and walk along the lines of your mandate. It's never too easy.
Serving as ACC boss, is there any moment in your career as ACC commissioner when particular case can somebody call say that case again interesting now?
Oh yes, you cannot deny that. And I recall Akin member on one occasion would assess and do an investigation, and the Minister of Government came to my office and they talk, say, he get word from we boss, say, if you talk to me. I say, really? But me and my boss don't keep malice. I say, why you not call me? Take me phone and call me boss. And that is from our President Kamara. Call, I say, hey, that's what he go say. No, I say, he say, well, get on the phone. I passed my phone to this minister across my desk, and then another year they talk, but he was nerving. Me they worry like not drop the phone, like broke the phone. He was very nervous, and wait, he just give me the phone and walk out. So clearly the approach I made was nobody they can't tell me about instructions, and if even there were instructions, they have to be in compliance with the law, and that is what I ensured.
You been get free hand?
Very much. I had a free hand. I had access to the presidency for discuss cases. I had access for go to members of parliament. I had a very good relationship with them. Some points, difficulty can coincide. Yes, I had a free hand.
Continue for the way to inside the program. In name now Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, in a former ACC boss and Attorney General. Inside the studios, as you hear one of headlines to them, we get Kamara, we in a former member of parliament for Falaba district. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Democracy.
Good morning.
Yeah, it is small.
Indeed.
Yeah. For long, you see now, they as member of parliament again. You're a former, and most time you can in a village. How life don't sound like from where you come on as member of parliament?
How a new experience altogether. You sit quietly and watch our situation they unfold. You reflect on what you've been done they do, and waiting if you don't do, and try for look at society in general and try for see how things they move and take some notes.
Alright, during your tenure as member of parliament, we all on the area and see videos the way you don't take up issue when it comes a national debate. In a recent time, you're not there as member of parliament again, but you colleague them there and you don't observe. What are your assessment on the member of parliament then in terms of national issues?
Again, the situation and the circumstances are not the same. Maybe during we own time we will get more issues as it happen now, but then they do their own best in this level, and I believe say they're going on well.
You be done serve as deputy chair for the Public Account Committee. We can talk about our role in the audit report. What is the role of the deputy chair in the Public Account Committee?
As you know, in many other countries, the Public Account Committee is being chaired by the opposition, and an opportunity given to the opposition for hold the government accountable. That aspect of holding government accountable actually in the Public Account Committee they do. But in the Sierra Leone case, now a different thing. We are in when you become the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, automatically get the responsibility for chair the Public Account Committee. And most time na the government side, and then they win the Deputy Speaker, so now then they chair the Public Account Committee. But I remember also in 2012, with the APC being in power, the Honorable General Ramadan Majubana being the Deputy Speaker and also the Chairman of the Public Account Committee. We see Honorable Koedioma of blessed memory, may so rest in peace, when I've been the Deputy Chairman. They've been so effective and active in that regard. The Chairman then be just serve as a kind of supervisor, wherein the Deputy Chairman they report to him, so he's been so active. But of a recent, from 2018, I've been there as the Deputy Chairman. Issues like this come out. Wherein we've been get issues with the ACC then, relating to the technical audit report. When we become the SLPP government, been conduct an entire audit into the entire system of the previous governance, we then call the technical audit report. Now we get issue with that report because the process of carrying out the audit not being complete then. So the chairman being new person now the Public Account Committee, the speaker now Honorable Sengepo Thomas, he don't take up a new responsibility with a new experience. He has not been there before. So when we meet, we get the experience of being on serve as member under the previous administration. So when we meet with the technical audit report, it was like, what can we for do with this report? It has to do with the previous administration. But there was a catch. The technical audit report not be ever complete because auditing get a process. After we don't go audit and look out for issues, at the end of the day, the people that we do audit get for answer. Before that, then we don't sack all the previous workers then, so nobody no respond. So how for go about this? So the Deputy Speaker, remember, then take the entire document in a single statement and hand over to the ACC. Maybe get for question at that time. I have a letter here where I've been the right to the Speaker for question that authority day for tell and say no. The audit report, not the property of ACC. And public account, we are not acting alone. We the act for Parliament. At the end of the day, if there is an issue not able for complete, we go back to Parliament and complain and report. But then at that time, then we take the entire technical audit report and hand over to ACC for further investigation.
Una been get concerned that and they una been get issues.
Yeah, serious one, maybe raise issues. I even wrote a letter to the Speaker at that time questioning that process, because when you read the entire Constitution, there is nowhere where we will say take the audit report, send it to the ACC. The ACC getting your own functions aside the audit report. Then get ambiguous opportunities for look into any aspect we desire them. But for take a document when a parliamentary related, we'll be supposed to report back to Parliament through the Speaker, but we'll not been do that one day. We've been take the entire document at that time and report them to ACC for further investigation.
Okay, now we look at the PAC where Lahai Marabi the serve as deputy and the current Public Account Committee. I can compare and contrast the two in terms of performing their functions.
Well, waiting happened. I always served in the PAC at that time as deputy chairman for a session. After that, I was removed because of I've been encountering serious problems with this, the chairman then with regards to procedures and how to handle auditees. So at the next session, I was removed not only as the deputy chairman, but also as a member of the committee. We didn't get somebody like a member of the NGC at that time. We didn't get only 4 members in Parliament. They became, one panel became the deputy chairman. At a particular time, he was removed as well. Then we didn't get an independent candidate from Kailaun. I think Lulu Tungi, we now SLPP member, she became the deputy chairman. So now, so that entire session would end. We are in when you are very strong with regards to issues, with regards to asking questions, your membership now the committee will be questioned. So again, let me come to the current. You look at the Honorable Tawa Conte. More we know say in court at a particular time in blow whistle at this parliament with regards to corruption, with regards to administrative lapses in certain sectors, and with regards to how parliament they handle themselves. So this now an opportunity wherein you look at the entirety of governance, how governance they run through the Public Account Committee for make it come out clear and loud. So no wonder we don't begin to see issues with regards to the PAC and the ACC.
All right, so you satisfy, if I can put it that way, the way and manner how the PAC they carry on with the audit report at this moment?
The reality is this first step, Honorable Tawa Conte, I may say, is right. The audit report, not a document for the ACC, but the ACC get a wider spectrum, they get a wider duty and function. They can even investigate or inquire into the audit report without you putting it on the table, that we inquire into the audit report. They get that opportunity, but in the process we are in, we call the entire media and say, look at the audit report, we are starting investigation and the audit report. Myself will call that as a bluff. You no need for do that. You need for carry out your investigation on particular area where don't interest you. But when you refer to the audit report directly, that it confront Parliament in itself.
All right. The allegation over the past year is now that during una tenure and now una normally come up with issues as Honorable Tawadi do now. Is it true?
Well, I serve the Public Account Committee that tenure for just one session, and during that time we've been very chaotic because it been a deal with the previous administration. Mind you, audit now for previous years. We've been get the 2018 audit report, we capture previous administration as well. And there was a particular time wherein we really look into the Ministry of Finance, past ministers, past administrators of finance, then the present finance secretary now being the director of public debt, that under the audit report each and every year we get issue under the public debt. So we'll be one like, okay, more we forget about this particular ciphers and look into other issues. I was like, no, it's now there, not now the FS. This is an opportunity we need for call and for making answers questions as well. Nobody not for be spared because of imposition or whatsoever. But that again, they meet with stiff resistance.
Now, good morning, Salon the Council from 98.1 FM, and we will bring you this edition. Musa Kamara, my name.
My name Usman Kamara.
We still get the first time ACC Commissioner na the studio with na Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, and also the first Deputy Chair na the Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Lahai Mara. We need to share the experience as to how for the strength to transparency and accountability using the audit report and the relationship between the Public Accounts Committee and the Anti-Corruption Commission. We come to them, we go to Parliament to say the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, say the committee don't accept the payment plan where Zudlab make to them for pay the $6,000 to government inside 12 months. Any months for the next 12 months as way for make them able to pay the $760,000 with their own government. He talk this inside one interview to the Democracy where they talk about the agreement where PAC don't get with Zudlab coming on them plan for payback for sake of the money where the 2023 audit report say therefore pay government. Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte talk more to Cherno Jalo inside this interview.
Holistically, I'm sure the audit service looked through the accounts and looked through the agreement, and one of the things that we attract their attention are the fact that there is a payment dashboard in the agreement. We require Zudlabs for pay starting June 2021 an amount or two amounts, one $1,044,000 United States dollars, whether for the pay the consolidated revenue fund, and the other one 360,000 United States dollars that will be paying at the digital development fund. So cumulatively from June 2021, if we pay a prorated amount of that one, like $900,000, then from effective 2022 now, the money should be paid every quarter, the 044 for be divided into 4 tranches paid quarterly, and the 367 for be divided into 4 tranches so that they're able to absorb the payments paid over 4 quarters. So the audit service realized say this money unable to see any payment for so for ensure say we say give fairness to everybody, we write to the Accountant General prior to that meeting day, and the Accountant General of Sierra Leone furnished we with 2 account statements, one for the Digital Development Fund account and the other for the single treasury account, of which an amount of $480,000 was paid into the Digital Development Fund account, 2.2 million was paid into the treasury single account. So an amount of $2.6 million will be supposed to complement the spread and for meet the period, the payment for the period under review was paid to offset staff liabilities by Zoo Labs on the instruction they received from the party.
Fast forward to that one day, what's not find out now?
Today we find out the document in question, we authorize them for utilize that 2.26 million for offset the liabilities. Now indeed, now an authentic document from the parties, the amount deposited for the single treasury account was there, and also confirmed say the 480 was indeed deposited by requesting an independent confirmation from the Bank of Sierra Leone. We also get a statement for confirm say yes, these treasury accounts were accredited on this date, and we also arrive at the conclusion that we take the 2.26 million as part of the payment or the payment plan where they are supposed to run the over the years and add them to the actual amount deposited in banks, and we realize that the money we are outstanding now for pay government is $760,000.
We can't to that money briefly, but before we reach there, what thing go wrong? We make audit service and not before like highlight what thing APC don't pick up so.
Well, the audit exercise and the audit introspections or the audit scope can cover a certain period. When the documents come to the PAC, we they go beyond the scope for make sure say we give validation to what's in the auditor they do. So most times, some of the transactions, for example, in the accounts, the payment in the accounts where the Accountant General give started in January of 2020, September. One was in October of 2023.
That before the audit?
No, it might be the audit must have concluded.
And closed.
Might have closed before the payment started. So the first payment was in October of 2023, and subsequent payments were made in January because they are supposed to be paid in quarters. So the audit scope was 2023. So they could not have had access to those documents.
Anyway, the Public Accounts Committee concerned about some of the issues as we can come up and audit report. One, we don't get Zulabu in one case study. We don't get also Leone and Salon Police. The complaints say many times waiting the audit report can don't say perhaps when PAC go back and go look and find out that thing. We're not concerned.
Well, nothing different from what in the audit service say. Now comes to the issue of Leone. Leone was an issue of the auditors Sierra Leone Maritime Administration. Maritime did not have either the agreement for 2021 or 2023, and they did not have the certificate of parliamentary ratification.
What can be blamed in that one day?
It is a government issue. It's an issue between it's an intergovernmental agency. The agreement was between the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, Ministry of Finance, and Leone. So as such, it should have been a responsibility of the piloting agencies for communicating to all the other subsidiary agencies that were involved in the agreement, say, we have gotten a ratification, keep it in your file. So when they audit Sierra Leone Maritime Administration, these documents were not in their file. So what they raised was, these documents were not there, and on assumption, because of this agreement on assignment for pay $1,250,000 per year for the use of the rail, they calculated the period for which they had used the rail and monetize them and put her in the audit report. So they were not wrong. Similarly with Zoo Labs, I've explained, they are not wrong. So, with Sierra Leone Police, I've never seen any issue where they don't come with say, oh, this one is wrong or is right.
But again, still on the Leone issue, when the audit reports make mention of them and then kind of Parliament PAC vindicates them, you heard our PAC say no get question for answer to. One thing they don't stand firm on now the fact say this is damaging their reputation to the international partners. So they ask audit service salon for coming and tender an apology.
Audit service no need for tender an apology to them.
Okay.
The audit service did not audit Leone. Okay. In fact, if anybody for make an apology, Leone for make an apology to audit service because they don't understand the scope of the audit.
Okay.
So if you don't come to Parliament, we don't prove the ratification. I think that's the end of the story.
Okay. Let me go back to Zula. When I don't finally get an agreement, what are the agreement?
So the amount where they owe government of Sierra Leone at $780,000 is going to be paid over a period of 12 months. Because we want for suffocate the working capital or the operational expenditure. We don't want to say we are going to block your accounts and you're going to pay $760,000 tomorrow morning. Okay. It is also in the best interest of the users of internet for law ensure say Zulab's way that they manage the internet connectivity from source to end user or to the MNOs. Let us not suffocate them that cannot become operational and the internet service na salon go down.
What are the feedback after an reach a disagreement?
I don't get it.
Then feedback wouldn't give after an agreement say they will pay this in 1 year term.
So the feedback is one, they are ready to pay. Okay. Every payment where they make into the Treasury single account or the DDF account, they should send it to the PAC because it's a recovery made by the PAC, but it's not about the recovery. It's about tracking the payments so that we know that exactly between this January and December, an amount of $760,000 was recovered and paid into the government consolidated revenue fund.
Well, that's now the chairman for the Public Accounts Committee in a Parliament, Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte. They talked to Chen Jallo inside our interview. They say confirm say Zudlap don't get payment agreement for pay $60,000 to governments inside any month for the next 12 months as way for make them able pay the $760,000 with their own governments. The program now Good Morning Saloon with the country from 98.1 FM. We come to we studio guest them and we come to Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, first time ACC Commissioner. He just don't listen an interview from the PAC chair, we not only Ibrahim Tawakonte, but before this time we also see the Anti-Corruption Commissioner being called a press briefing for explain the audit process or for call the people or for explain to the public about the audit where issues being come between the ACC and the PAC. For you as somebody where we don't serve the ACC as the commissioner, and earlier you talk about the reforms that we say we don't make, what in it for be or how it for be in terms of looking at the audit report between PAC and the ACC?
Well, thank you very much, Musa. This is an issue when come up during my tenure as commissioner. And it starts from the basic understanding of the Constitution and the role of Parliament. The role of Parliament, the core function, now for make laws. All other business of Parliament is corollary, meaning it come out from that function there. All the other assignment of Parliament now for a system in that function of making laws. You go further to that one day and you look the role of Parliament in making those laws, a representative of the people. Members of Parliament are not there for themselves. So when you look even in terms of the oversight, that is outside the PAC camp, in the Oversight Committee role under Section 93 of the Constitution. Oversight means like you supervise. The functions of the executive arm of government, now that they implement government policy. What me understanding I was see in all of this outside crisis always a coming. Now, outside the conflict day between Parliament and the executive, Parliament wanting to implement government policies. I listen to Honorable Tawa just now. If they talk about recovery, if they do this, that is not the role of Parliament. In oversight, if you discover anything by way of documentation or any wrongdoing or misfeasance, you make referrals. Right. In Sierra Leone, there is what we call separation of powers. There are clear separation of powers in the core functions of governance. In Parliament, they make laws. Executive, they implement the laws. So where there is any conflict, you go back to the core functions. So I think when Parliament overstep or overreach the functions, then there is a problem. And secondly, I see nothing wrong in a current commissioner for go public and discuss the audit report. The audit report is a public document for which the people of this country are entitled to the information contained therein. Right. And once it is laid in Parliament, it is for our people to know what is there, and so they can communicate with their members of Parliament, and so their views will be reflected in the will of Parliament.
Right. So in this case, is it that the PAC or Parliament still overstep the boundaries in their function?
In what I was listening to the Honorable, they thought, we don't go out, we recover, we do this, we don't ask this or that. It's implementing policies. When you discover things in the course of the work in Parliament, you make referrals. That is where you have agencies. Otherwise, we don't need these agencies. And today we talk about over-bloated wages. So if we not make them work, then why are they there?
All right. Now, again, we see we are in the PAC, the other ministry them for pay certain amount, again a specific term, like Zulabs, inside 12 months term. Is it right?
No, I don't think it is correct. Again, Parliament gets overwhelming powers, don't get me wrong. But they cannot function as a court. In that capacity, no. If you discover something, there are referral agencies. They have the work to do. And talking about the audit report, it's a technical document. And there are different forms of audit. We get performance audit, we get financial statement audit, we get corruption audit. These are specialized functions. And we have agencies that are tasked to do that. Parliament is not tasked to do that. And when the report comes before Parliament, they can look at issues. We, the ordinary citizen, get opportunity for communicate with members of Parliament. We for know what's happy with the public debt, then get power for call the Minister of Finance. Can I explain this? Can I explain that? But when it reached to the stage of the technical functions, where any designated agency for perform, let them allow them to perform those agencies.
So in this rule, waiting in this case, waiting Parliament for do and waiting ACC for doing the audit reports.
When the audit report is out, ACC, like our Honorable Lai say, quite correct. They can investigate anytime, before, during, after. The parliamentary proceedings is not like in court, where you say we matter before court, it is sub judice. That is, you cannot comment on it so that you know the no, Parliament don't have that power. So let me kind of talk about the overreaching exercise of powers of Parliament. Go into the executive role. And so the conflict will bound to arise. And Salo will get separation of powers. All man get in function, all man get in role. And we see now why we need to spend better time in Parliament for address the core issues of the law. We just hear you say they make terrorism bill, where people they don't even understand which are the contents because it was not discussed. And there is no publicity, adequate publicity of this legislation because Parliament is busy in doing things where the executive what they do. With due respect.
You earlier say during your own tenure, you've been get issue with Parliament also. What's not been the issue with Parliament been get with you?
On the same issue about where the audit report come, they say for torture, or for wait still and done. You wouldn't believe it. It took a year before they come back to me. That time they bokuti no happen. And in auditing, sometimes when you watch, they go say there are insufficient documentation to support this disbursement. Insufficient documentation to support this disbursement. It is possible maybe they not produce the receipt at the time. You get a 1 year receipt, they come out from anywhere they can be coming out of South Africa. So this is why where ACC get the capacity for immediately investigate, give them the resources to do that, especially where they are ready, willing and able to conduct that type of investigation and they have the expertise.
Okay. So is it right for the PAC or the chairman, you know, give order or say if ACC call ministry, department and agency, not for good?
Well, you see, in terms of the empowered and get power, which we can always say, I remember my government teacher, Mr. Bokar in Albert Academy. He say the only thing Parliament cannot do is to make man woman and woman man. Yes, they have power, they can say this, say that. But how do you exercise that power? How do you exercise it? Is it a reasonable function of your office? I would say no, it is not a reasonable function. You not go see if you call ACC Coluna, una no go there. That's clear conflict of laws between Parliament and that of the executive, and it also derogates the office of the commissioner, and it brings confusion because ACC go don't send summons, and they have powers on where the constitution give them for summon.
Continue for stay with me inside the program. Just a Fitzgerald Kamara, first then ACC commissioner. We come to first then PAC deputy chair, Honorable Haimara. Honorable, you don't serve as deputy chair. You agree with Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara on the function and the role of the PAC in relation to audit reports?
Oh, well, Mr. Kamara, they say Parliament to get powers, but also they say they're limited to some extent. But if you look at the entirety of the Constitution from section 73 to 119, you will know why they make up, why Parliament they exercise such powers. you go to the legislative powers, you go to the power for impose tax. Mind you, now only Parliament they approve tax rate, now only Parliament get that authority there, now only Parliament they authorize expenditure. Then you come in, after you don't impose tax, you don't raise revenue, you don't authorize expenditures to different MDAs, then you come into 119 for investigate them, for make them come back report to you. That is why we have the audit report. For God's sake, the audit report now an extension to parliamentary function. Now the parliament they do in work. For say for me parliament asks for money in returns, not get that authority there. No. You look at the primary functions there. They get right for inquire. They get right for investigate into the administration of any MDAs, including the ACC themselves. Parliament get that authority there. Now, mark onto this issue of audit thing. When you read the Constitution 119 till the end, it's very clear who the Auditor General should report to, waiting the Auditor General for do, and waiting Parliament for do with that document. The Auditor General's report now a parliamentary document. Again, mark to the ACC. I say earlier, for me, ACC call a whole press briefing for discuss the audit report that is a property of Parliament as in a mere bluff. You don't need for do that. You need for look into activities. Yes, you go take them as a whistleblowing document, then they act on whistleblowers. You go to the ACC and say, I suspect corruption they happen at this institution. They go there and investigate. So if you don't get a document like that one, they no need for laying at the table. You can work on it without Parliament, even though you are working on it. But you take a whole document, while Parliament they sit on the very document. And that document, like a parliamentary document, we are in, don't raise revenue, don't disburse those revenues through the authority to various MDAs. At the end of the day, don't ask the audit general for make them investigate how the money then they expended. So now their duty, and now one of the core functions of Parliament, divide themselves into committees, which is in the Constitution, for do inquiry, for do investigation. At the end of the day, then get authority. Now, when you read the Constitution, section 93, especially 6, says all powers and privileges vested in the High Court, which committee they sit, get the same privileges with regards to calling witnesses, with regards to calling them for report and other things. So Parliament gets unanimous power, which Mr. Kamara no objects to.
All right, forget things clear. Is it that ACC for wait till Parliament done with the audit report before they begin look into her or put on a table and discuss them with the public?
With respect to the audit report, oh yes, they should. It is a parliamentary document.
And you think, say, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa writes the things that we do now?
Yes, I want to commend them at this point because we don't they follow a bit. But we they look at them keenly, we say this get for end. And mind you, it is like government auditing government. It is like a member of the government asking the government for report. And mind you, in my opening I said earlier, the PAC all over the world generally now the opposition the chair, but with regards to Sierra Leone, wherein the deputy speaker of parliament chairs the opposition, the PAC, sorry. So and the government member of parliament always they end up forget that position there. So sometimes the question of you asking yourself to be accountable, we'll therefore underline that. So we they look and one for see waiting they happen at the end. We don't they see wearing they call people and say yes, may they make payment. That is a good one because the NCS now for ask people then for accountable. And in the process of asking them for be accountable, which side don't go bad now for correct their mistakes then they.
All right, I asked Mr. Kamara the same question. Is it right for PAC or Honorable Tawa tell ministries and department not for go if ACC call them?
Yes, if ACC going to the ACC, they obstruct the activities as a parliament. If you see them say going to the ACC at this junction, they be an affront to them. Definitely will issue that kind of statement. We see we are in the ACC, they use words like gangsterism. That's not a big word to parliament. and even limit them to a parliamentarian. To me, that is an affront to the dignity of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
But again, we see some of the words them back way Honorable Tower use now,
like
ACC.
Like
of ACC not get work now the audit report the Apopa and use other word them on the commissioner. Is it that's not personal issue with the C in this case?
It's not about personal issue. It's about somebody challenging the authority of Parliament. And I believe say don't for come na the media and do such by just summoning the ACC go sit up, because we get a whole committee where they also supervise the ACC themselves, the Transparency Committee. I remember make us say this experience. There was a committee, the appropriation period, wherein the ACC themselves get for come for explain how they utilize the funds given to them before we give them budget. I went to that, I've been the chair a particular committee, but I go to that committee because it has to do with ACC. And I picked up some issues myself. We asked plenty of questions. At the end of the day, they say, mind you, they are ACC. So Parliament gets unanimous.
But according to Francis Benkaifala, they know somehow it mentioned ACC and other 3 institutions then we know answerable to Parliament.
Well, Parliament get legislative authority, then get the legislative power, and through the legislative power they establish institution. Therefore, I will automatically definitely say here, even the ACC was established by Parliament. We can even call them and amend the law, for subject them under our authority. Of course, I don't believe them will say that.
So we come over to Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, we are former ACC boss and Attorney General. In recent time, we don't see we are in the chairman for the Public Accounts Committee and Francis Benkaifala. They call themselves different names them in relation for battling for supremacy concerning the audit report. Is it Nasoi for B, or is it we don't begin see personal attack just for the report?
I agree with what you talk in the sense that it shouldn't be like that. These are 2 very important offices of state where we'd expect the very best and high level of rectitude from them people here. For begin use personal labels against one another is wrong, and they should levitate themselves above it. And I don't see ego coming in. This one show power, this one show himself, and where there is maturity, we deal with issues. I have been confronted with the matters here before. We manage it. Honorable is here. I recall we don't did together before when he was in Parliament. We have a way of dealing with these matters. And for this very Public Accounts Committee and then functions and role, I always ask the question, what really they want to do? That the people in the want help, they want to keep a secret. The people have a right to know. And they have a right to be engaged.
But the PSC, they hold a meeting in the open. So it's not secret. Somebody will tell you.
So why you want to stop other man for doing work? Now that's what they say. If you say, and the Honorable Lion mentioned about the property of Parliament, I mean, I think that there is no proprietary right over any document before Parliament. No proprietary right. A public document is a public document. It belongs to everyone. And as a people and citizens, we must have access to those documents so we can comment on them and talk to our honorable members. For say we have an interest in that document, and this is what has to happen. And there was also a mention about taxation under Section 16 of the NRA Act. Now only the Commissioner General get power for raise revenue. Raise revenue. Parliament get a role. Yes. But for raise revenue, the Commissioner General. So I was talking about the overreaching, and I think it is that component of the functions of both the Anti-Corruption Commission and Parliament that we have to look into. But more importantly, what is it that we are telling our children when we speak in public? But labeling is not new.
Okay. So if you mean in this position, we are in with the see issues like this, even though you say you mean on the that same desk there, which you go do different.
I think it's all about engagement, constructive engagement. Because whenever you constructively engage, when they come to have ideas, and they sink in, you don't know who say you wrong, you accept who say you wrong. And if the intention is genuine, we want to promote good governance. I can see someone giving in and somebody accepting. And as I say, Usman, name calling is wrong in every sector of society. We begin seeing right from the very top, labeling the opposition as terrorists, calling them ayampies. If we begin give each other names of that nature, it's derogatory, and we don't begin seeing now, right, the condoro begin to picking. It is wrong. So when you start at the very top by using derogatory language of your own citizens, you have to be careful. It will come back to haunt you. So what we have to do is, we have children, we get the youths the way they learn from you. As public officials, you put yourself in a position of rectitude, probity, such that when you even the talk, people should understand and want to learn from you.
Okay. Continue for the waiting inside the program. Over to you, Lahai Mara. If you mean they as the chairman of PAC, what you go to different in relation to some of the issues that will happen?
Well, I will continue for say the audit report na the property of Parliament until we amend section 119 of the Constitution, because this is a constitutional matter. Now, so the Constitution say. So until that is amended, the audit report now solely the property of Parliament. And with regards to waiting the happen now, not to the first time this, like waiting Mr. Kamara say, it may not happen before. But in that period, we been get for in one room, we resolve the issues. And Mr. Kamara get for sit down and wait, just like what he say he waited for a year. You know, I wonder why been the wait for the audit report for a year. We get other sober functions within the ACC at that time. Look at what is happening now. As you can see, the ACC, we give them powers, enormous powers. What about you investigating into this drugs business? The way it happen from Cambia to what is happening now with the First family. That is an area of investigation. Why the audit report? Then,
but not to the ACC the whole, not police in terms of drugs.
Yes, then get the new mandate, then get the new function for the such investigation, as long as it has to do with corruption, you know. So I want to see. I listen to first the ACC commissioner, we call Parliament gangsterism, you know. That in itself, now an affront to the dignity of Parliament, now contempt of Parliament. But if the chairman don't do the same, then I wonder the level at which they want for reach. Because if me not been the chairman and a member of Parliament, how they use me parliamentary powers and someone new for can explain exactly what you mean by gangsterism of Parliament. We go for respect Parliament, now a dignified place. We get the supreme legislative powers, and that powers you know, we can use them for legislate, even into immune activities itself. So this issue around the audit report, we will lay them to rest. But you know what? Why the commissioner get the zeal? As they say, the precedent been done set up. And I believe say it quotes the previous chairman of the PAC, when Honorable Sengeport Thomas. In me opening, I talk about the technical audit report. The chairman then take the entire document, two bulky document of the technical audit report, hand over them to ACC for do them investigation. Where at that time I wrote a letter to the speaker complaining about that process, complaining about that procedures, and here we are today.
Okay. The program na Good Morning Saloon, they come to you from 98.1 FM. As we round up the program now, we come to Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, first time ACC Commissioner. Let me look at section 119, 5 and 6 of the 1991 Constitution as to the role of the ACC and the PAC in the audit reports and the way forward.
Yes, thank you. The Constitution is clear under section 119 and subsection 6 on the independence of the Auditor General. That section provides the Constitution and any other law, the Auditor General is not subject to the control of any person or authority.
Interpret section 119.
Yeah, 119 generally creates the office of the Auditor General. Then it explain what if we do, and equally for take the report for can go to Parliament. That is fine. But it goes further. In subsection 6 say the Auditor General is independent. When I was Attorney General, I wrote a legal opinion on the functional independence of the Auditor General. And clearly under subsection 6, the Auditor General is not subject to the control of any person or authority. So having said that, we all get for no, because now we see the Public Accounts Committee, the right people not for even pay tax or for pay to them or even a close accounts. To garnish a company's account has to be by court order. And I keep on emphasizing, we are seeing the overreaching of the arm of Parliament. But clearly, what does that suggest? A dysfunctional government. If this they do what you want to do, this they do what you want to do, cross purposes and everywhere, it suggests a dysfunctional government. It's about time that the government rein in and sit and make sure everybody knows his role. We have an Attorney General that can advise PAC and know what are the restrictions. You cannot garnish an account of a company without a court order. So this is what I'm saying. There is an independence of the Office of the Auditor General and also independence of the Office of the Anti-Corruption Commissioner. These two are Parliament passer in the Constitution, and the Constitution is the primary ground norm law. Okay. No law not above the Constitution.
Quick on waiting at the way forward.
The way forward, as I see, is, I mentioned it before, constructive engagement. They can see it. When I was there, they summoned me to Parliament. I went. We had a conversation, and we know waiting for do, waiting for not for do. And the wait was here, we wait for Parliament for produce the report. 1 year. We did do that work, but the report where the Public Account Committee they produce, it took them 1 year. So are they going to wait again another year? Now, what have they produced? Let us go to history. When then they say they want this document and then they look into and this that, waiting and don't produce.
Okay.
Me no know, but I don't do.
All right, over to you, Laima. You do your interpretation from JFK.
Yeah, you know, lawyers normally can rely which side they're comfortable with, not the law when they interpret. But if you read the entirety of Section 119, basically they talk about the Auditor General establishment and how they for reports to Parliament and how Parliament for doing their work, all inside Section 119. If you look at the 6 again, which side they rely on, you go to 7, they say only the President or Parliament can ask the Auditor General for audit certain institution. The independence of the Auditor General not to question, because even the auditing standards where they guide them internationally talk about the independence of Auditor General. It's all about matters within the audit report and how the audit report should be treated. Okay. I don't they say for deal with the audit report by the ACC, call a whole press briefing are just a mere bluff. It can even deal with issues within the audit report without go through all of that. Let's get investigative power. Then you go and use them as an information for investigate. But why you need for someone an entire press briefing for say they can deal with the Auditor General's report while Parliament they do the same thing. Right. That is realize the confrontation, and that is waiting there for avoid.
All right, plenty thank you for joining inside the program. Quick one, JFK, away from this issue. You know one of the lawyers there for former President Kamara. How in health now and how the case to go on?
Usman, thank you very much for that question. His health is picking up. Yes, I was with him about 3 weeks ago, and he looks good. We engage with government moving forward. He sends his greetings to the people of Sierra Leone. He loves his country. This time the man will not ever left this country. He not go study abroad. He not ever live abroad. Even during the war, he not come on our country. But today's circumstances have forced him out. He wants to come back, and he still continues to plead his innocence, and we believe in that. And so we hope say opportunities will be given by way of resolution of this issue to bring peace to this country.
All right. Over the past year, we don't see we are in the team for different positions them for be president of this country. You still get ambition there?
Well, I think at this opportunity, I go say yes, I do, because once you start in that endeavor, you never give up. Yes, it was not successful in my first bid, but I think the time is now. Yes, I will step out at the right time, and I will communicate with the people of this country my intention, my view, and how I see what I can do as a president of this republic.
I take it back to the issue of your clients. We left Salon on the issue, we are the first time president on the issue of medical, and that's almost a year now, or over 1 year now. Your clients still there on medical?
Yes, and medical now a continuous process, and I know I can't disclose within a specific medical condition, but I can tell you he's healing, and he's trying to exercise a lot for make sure say he looks fit and proper, and he's ready to come back anytime. So we are managing the conversation with the ECOWAS and other interested parties of stakeholders. We foresee how will they bring peace to this country, and that's one Posidande we hold a key to peace and security in the state.
Some quarters in the public, they think say it's an exile, that you claim they're on exile. Is that the case?
Well, an exile is a term of art. I don't call him an exile at all. I think it's a situation where he was forced to leave. He didn't leave with his consent. He was forced to leave. Like I said, an individual that has never left this country. He's so loving country, one day going inside, even the war he stayed and has contributed to development. He wants to come back. It is not his will to stay there. I met him, we engaged, we had conversations. He sends his greetings. He loves his country. Let us manage it. Let there be peace. He wants to come back.
Plenty thank you for joining inside the program this morning. We hope say from time to time we're going to give you the opportunity as you do this morning. All right.
I'm back in the game.
Okay. Plenty thank you for joining inside the program this morning. In name now Joseph Fitzgerald Kamara, in former ACC boss and Attorney General Assembly. So inside the studios we may get former member of Parliament for Falaba District, Winner Lahai Mara. Plenty thank you guys who are joining inside the program. Well, now you're good recording of the program. Good morning, Saloon. We come to you live from Radio Democracy 98.1 FM.